Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was, and wee. So anyway, I love you so much, and I hope you're able to get out in nature, and also let's send some love out in the world, because guess what? We all could use some love out in the world today, especially with so much going on. And anyway, I love you so much. But before I speak to you I want to say a big, huge thank you to all of you out there who are here watching my videos, giving me thumbs up, sharing my videos, or leaving me a comment down below. And those of you who push the notification bell, thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, if anyone would love to send any love donations, you can through my Cash App, and I will have that information here. Ping! There it is. And before I start this video, hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, don't forget you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up. And you can also leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can share my videos with your family, your friends. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So today is about don't let people run over top of you. And I do know some people out there that I met like a year ago, and there's people out there who have a hard time using their voice, and where you got to be careful with that. We need to really stop letting people run over top of us, and that is in many ways. And one is having people control you and take charge of your life, and that goes on around all, with all kinds of people that we interact with. It could be your family, Now, are you an adult? Oh, yes, you're an adult, right? So it's challenging, because we all have families. Some of our families, we might have lost on the way. But the ones that are in your life right now is, even though you have family, like your mom, your dad, brothers or sisters, cousins, grandpa, grandma, any of those people, are you, before I say any more, do you live in their house? Are they paying your bills? Or are you, able to pay for your rent? And are you, living on your own? Because it is a different story when you are living on your own. You're the one working, you're the one paying the bills. There's a difference. But if you're living in their house, you kind of got to go by their rules. They could tell you what to do in the house, but really this is your life, So like what kind of job, you want to get should be all the way up to you. Who you want to marry, or if you want to be single, hey, you don't have to get married. You want to get married, you don't have to be single. So, you have to, stop letting people run over top of you by people telling you what to do. And like I said, I actually meet a lot of people on this journey, and I know some people even who watch my YouTube channel because I talked with them. And in the same area where I met this one person that I'm speaking of right now is I used to work for people that are mentally challenged, or people that have learning disabilities, and all kinds of, you name it. Starlight has worked out there helping different types of people who have different situations in their life where they could struggle in life because of these certain things that they have, the way they were born, or maybe something that changed throughout their life, where there's a lot of people, they could have been born and everything came out great, and then later on, some kind of thing could have happened where, their life is not the same anymore. So this message is to help people out there that could possibly have some kind of disability, like a learning problem, a learning disability, where, they might have not have gone through high school, like Starlight didn't go to high school, So you got to really be careful, is because we might have family, mom and dad, and, I'm an adult, my kids are adults. I don't tell my children what to do. And how did I learn that? I learned that because I witnessed it out in public and I didn't like what I was seeing. I witnessed how a lot of parents were bossing their kids, adult children, around and trying to run their life, trying to tell them who to marry. I do know somebody really close to me who, they didn't want any babies, but you know what? Somebody kept on pressuring them and they finally decided to have a baby, but it wasn't their choice. So you got to really watch out, as people will pressure us, and keep on saying stuff, and it puts you on a guilt trip, and and now you feel like, hey, if I just do what they want me to do, then you know what, I won't have to hear this anymore. And so then you cave in and you do what they want with your body, and then after you have a baby, guess what? They might only have the baby once a week, but you're the one that's going to be with the baby the rest of the time. And now you're like, man, if I only could back up the clock. It's too late, right? It's too late. And you always, so you got to really be careful. People will pressure us into things. And that could be mom, dad, brothers and sisters, where, if you have like a learning disability, you don't even have to have a learning disability for people to think that they could tell you what to do. So it's so important. I'll tell you what, throughout my life, I've been on my own since 16 years old, and so I learned to be very freaking independent. And I'm a Virgo, so I love my independence, I love doing things myself. So that's why Starlight started her own businesses. You know what? I am such a great worker. I started my own business because I worked for so many cleaning companies and I learned so many things, and I started my own business. It was the best thing that I ever could have done as far as a job goes. So, I have a hard time working for a company to, listen to and obey where they're doing the wrong stuff, like breaking rules and doing things that goes against, going against the grain of me, and so that's why Starlight, I could not work for a company that wasn't doing a great job. They want me to work for them, but then they want people's money, and that happened many times working for companies, not all the time. So Starlight's not that girl that if I get hired for a job, they better be doing, if they teach me a certain way, you bet your ass, I want to do what they want. But I like to have my flexibility, and that's why I started my own business, is I want to do it my way. Like Burger King, have it your way. Well, Starlight was like that, I always really was good at figuring things out. I'm a problem solver. So, I could have gotten trained a certain way, and there's some companies out there, they want you to do it the same way, no matter, hey, but I could make more than I know a way that's going to make you more money. But no, sorry, I just can't do that. It would frustrate me so bad. So you got to be careful. There's people out there that they will pressure you into doing things that you don't want to do, failing, controlling your life, and we have to learn to speak up. We have to learn to say, no, I'm an adult right now, There's times that we could have our mom and dad where they like, hey, you got to listen to me. I'm your mother. You got to listen to me. Listen to me. I'm your mother. I live on my own. If I choose to listen to my mother, it's a choice that I have on my own. If I don't have to. There's nothing that my parents could tell me, whether it's my dad, my mom, or my brother grandpa and grandma, they're not around anymore, so I don't have to worry. So you got to really be careful with that, you know. People can guide you and help you along the way, give you good advice, but it's really up to you. You know, people might pressure you into things that you don't want to do. And I went through this my whole life, and we all do, is what if, you know, some friends get a hold of you and they're like, hey, let's spend some time on the weekend together. And you know what? Maybe that weekend you want to be alone with yourself, get out and hike somewhere. And so, but you feel guilty and you're like, I gotta do this. You don't have to do this. You don't have to go and do, you know, what they want. You could say, hey, thank you for the invite, but really, I really had my mind set on this, you know, this weekend. I really want to, you know, go hiking. You know, now I just had this happen to me not too long ago, and so this is, there's a lot of reasons why I'm bringing this topic up is, you know, there's people that want to tell you, they want to control you, and they're sly about it, where, you know, you got to be really careful. If sometimes there's people telling us what to do, but our intuition goes against what they're telling us. You know, there's people that, you know, they want to try to tell you what to do. And you got to speak up and say, thank you, but, you know, I got to do it my way. I want to do, you know, and you don't have to go into the details, you know, but you got to take control over your life. And you don't have to be, you know, a jerk to these people. Just speak your mind. I know people out there and that I've met in person that does have a learning disability, and I just met another lady where people can take advantage of you. And, you know, there's a lot of companies out there that I worked for, is what they did with people that might have some, you know, learning disabilities, and they didn't quite understand things, and they weren't, you know, mature enough to to really understand all the little tricks out there in the world. And it's so sad, even working for a company that I worked for, working for handicapped people and people with disabilities, is that a lot of the workers were playing mind games with their clients at these companies. It goes on even more, you know, than I want to admit to, is that these people were learning about people being dishonest to them. They were figuring things out. They were doing their own investigation, trying to piece things together, and, you know, because something inside of them wanted to analyze things. And they were correct on what they were doing and what they were thinking, but the people that worked for the company was playing head games and acting like it's all in your mind, and playing head games with these people that have disabilities. And I am a witness to watching this stuff, and it's really wicked to do that to people that can't stand up for themselves. So I do know somebody out there, and that definitely could be happening to you if you're out here watching this video. And so you got to really, really ask, I mean, like, how, you know, like, how does your gut feel? How does your body feel when people tell you something, but something inside, it's like, you know, I don't feel like they're telling me the truth. You got to go with that gut instinct, you know, because more than likely you are correct and that they are playing head games with you. Don't let people tell you where to go in life, you know, is that there's going to be people that they might want your time and your energy. You know, you might make them feel really good, but you might have stuff that you got to do. Don't feel guilty about telling people, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do that. They might want you to do something with them every day. But if you are doing something in your life and you don't want to spend time with those people because you got a lot on your plate, you don't have to spend time with those people. You got it, you know, and it's best to be point blank honest with these people and say, hey, you know what, I'm sorry, but I have a lot to do. And it's never easy to stand up and say exactly what you want to say to people. Is that you got to be straight and honest, and you know what, you will feel better in the end, you know, when you say, hey, you know what, no. You know, get used to saying no. You could practice in the mirror. My brother used to teach me this, and it worked for me. It's kind of funny. My brother is no longer here, but he taught me about looking in the mirror and talking to myself. And he actually showed me, he did this himself, just, to kind of get my point. And the weird thing is, he taught me a really good thing, but the thing that backfired is I did it to him. I had a hard time voicing myself with my brother, but it ended up being that he taught me exactly how to use my voice and practice. And I did. I was home and I was practicing, and I was pretending that I was facing him and practicing what I wanted to say. So that way, when the moment was the right moment, I was already practicing it, like an acting role, like you got this movie and you're gonna be the head actor or the head actress, in the movie, and you got your thing that you got to read off, the script or whatever. You're gonna say your part. So it's the same thing. You're gonna act it out. I mean, when I say act it out, you got to act it out, and and when the more you practice that when you're at home, even though they're not around. When that moment comes, and when you had enough of people manipulating you, playing head games with you, controlling you, and you know what? You're fired up, and you can do it. You can express yourself to them, and you might have to leave right after that. You might have to just say, "Hey, I got to get going now." Don't be afraid to use your voice. And this even goes with the government. It goes with the churches. With the churches. Don't let people put a guilt trip on you, and because a lot of things go on in a church, where they put guilt trips on people to control them, make them feel really bad, and make them feel like they gotta, volunteer for this, volunteer for that, give money to this, give money to that. You gotta be the one to say, you want to give money to that? Give money. You don't want to give money? But listen to what God really wants you to do. Really listen to what God. Don't let other people pressure you into giving money when you don't want to. When it's okay. I make videos about the homeless people. Now that's a different story because they are homeless, and I put stories because I have a heart for the homeless people. Even the government, even the police officers, you've got to use your voice. Don't be afraid to express yourself and say exactly what you need to say. Even your doctor. When the doctor's always wanting to put medication, guess what? Some of you might not understand that they make money off your ass because when they put you on medication, most of the time it's not really to help you out. It's that they have other ways they can help you out. But instead, these people, they make money. The pharmacies make money off of medications, the doctors, anybody that's doing stocks. I knew a guy a long time ago. He was going to actually, before marijuana ended up getting legal in New York, he decided, hey, I'm gonna put my money onto stocks, for marijuana, so that way, he wanted to get money if marijuana did really good, when they have all these stores to sell marijuana. So that's what the doctors do with medications and pharmacies and hospitals. It's a big money making. There might be people that might not be a doctor or work for a hospital, but they might know about medications and like, hey, I'm gonna, put my money in there. And a lot of people are winning, but the people that are on these medications, is it really helping them? Is it really bettering their life? So stop letting people run over top of you. Your time is your time. Don't let other people take the time in your day. If you don't want to do something, say no. Because people are going to put you on a guilt trip, make you feel like you have to. If the church people, you don't have to do what the church people tell you. Listen to you. You are the one, and you should be in the driver's seat of your life. And I love you so much. I really hope you get a lot of help from this video. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.